ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome to Science of Self-Realization reading. Today we are starting with chapter 7, returning to eternal religion. So Srila Prabhupada arrives in America. So on this date, 18 September 1965, Indian steamship Jaladuta nears Boston Commonwealth Pier. Srila Prabhupada plays to Lord Krishna that I am simply praying for your mercy so that I'll be able to convince them about your message. So, can each one of you read this one by one? 1, 2, 3. This is prayer of Srila Prabhupada that he had written.
Yes, Prabhu. First
Start.
one I will read.
Yeah.
My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me.
Next. Next, someone read, please. Just unmute and read, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, read.
Okay, Prabhuji. Most of the
No.
population.
Yeah. But I guess.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this tribal place?
Which is the
Most of
terrible
the
place?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Which terrible place,
America,
Rob?
Hare
America.
Krishna.
America.
America,
Okay.
America, yeah, because he went to Boston.
Right. Okay. Next, somebody else read.
I can continue, Prabhuji.
Okay, continue.
Most Hare Krishna. Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion observed in material life. They think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. Hare Krishna.
Next.
I'll read. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? O Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message.
Someone else
All,
read.
all living entities have come under the control of the illusory energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. Yes.
Hare
Venkatraj
Krishna.
Prabhu, do you want to read Prabhu or shall I continue?
Okay, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. The words of the Srimad Bhagavatam are you incarnation, and if a sober person repeatedly receives them with submissive aural reception, then he able to will able to understand your message. Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro, I will continue. It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.17 to 21, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with the transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. As soon as the irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy, thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness. The man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with the devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Thus, the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master.
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Yeah.
He will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion, and thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me success or failure as you like. O spiritual master of all the words, I can simply repeat your message. So, if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel enlightened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of the life. O Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, O Lord, make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, devotion, no do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as a Bhakti Vedanta and now if you like you can fulfill the real purport of Bhakti Vedanta. Signed the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami on board the ship Jaladota, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Jaladota, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Mascota, USA, dated 18th of September 1965. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So this is the prayer that Prabhupada prayed. He wrote it in a paper. Okay. So technically, he never knew that it would ever get published. But a devotee offers prayer to the Lord, right? So he offered it and he wrote it. So he's saying, why have you brought me here? Because I'm unqualified. You are powerful. You have some business here. So you can use me as you like. Nachao, nachao, more. I'm a puppet in your hand. So you make me dance the way you want make me to dance. And through me you speak your message and penetrate the heart of these people in America who are very much uh, engrossed in material activities. Okay, and he mentions about this purport. This text from 1721, that if one hears about Sri Krishna, then within the heart, whatever lust, greed, anger we have, they start getting destroyed. And how do we hear about Sri Krishna? We attend the classes on Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, like that. And then we render service to the pure devotee. By doing this, all that is troublesome in our heart, which is lust, greed, anger, is completely destroyed. And loving service unto Krishna is established. When that is established, we come on the platform of goodness, and then in the heart, a knot is cut to pieces. All our fruitive actions are terminated. Okay. So very nice poem Prabhupada had written. He never thought it would get published. But later devotees went and they brought this poem. Prabhupada, like the last thing he says, I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge. But I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. So, so you can see, Prabhupada had a strong faith on the holy name of Krishna, and that's why the whole movement started. Okay. Build your nations on the spiritual platform. Any questions? Any comment before we go further?
No, Professor.
Okay. So this is a talk that Prabhupada gave at University of Nairobi. That is definitely Africa. So in this whole section, right, what we will do is we'll read 2 to 3 paragraphs and then we will stop and we'll discuss. We'll read 2 to 3 paragraphs.
Uh, Prabhuji, Prabhupada wrote as a letter, right? He could have talked, no, why he kept in the paper. When we talk to something to Krishna, if we kept in the paper, is that good? Or how can we understand this? Instead of he just directly or just in the mind, he can also talk with Krishna, right? He can tell whatever the situation he's undergoing in the ship, he can just tell, but he put it in the paper, right?
Yeah. And your question is why did he put in a paper?
Yeah. Are there any significance here? Because he don't know this later it will get published.
That is true. So the thing
No,
is that this is a
he used to
prayer
write
that,
in the diary also, right? In the daily, every day he used to write in the diary what all the things he undergone on that day, like that, right? Prabhu?
yeah.
In the while he traveling.
Let me just check. So the purpose of a pure devotee, one of the quality of pure devotee is kavi. Kavi. He can
Yes.
speak very nicely, beautifully. So if you see Prabhupada's life, he would write a lot. right? At that point, there were no computers and all that. So, on a typewriter, he would write. So, this prayer, he was praying for a long time. It is not like he just prayed that time. No. So, he
Yes.
kept praying. And then you feel that inspiration to write it down. It's a natural thing. Like, people sometimes sing, but one day they start writing it down, what they are singing, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, similar thing, Prabhupada at that point got opportunity and he wrote. His prayer is almost like a song. And then he reached America, right? So he had only 40 rupees and he didn't know whether to turn left or to turn right. So it was a very helpless situation also. Let's say you're going from here to Chennai in a train, and in the station Kolar you get down. Now if you get down over there and the train leaves, you have no other way, to catch the train. The train left. So now you are stuck at the station waiting for the next train, right? So, our heart will pray immediately, please
Yes, Prabhu.
send the, so like that,
Yes.
Prabhupada is here and uh, a very helpless situation. If you need, it's 1965, it's a very helpless situation. So this prayer is going on in his heart. The moment he got the ticket to America, right? This prayer was going in his heart. And then as he
Yes.
reached America, he wrote it down. So it's a, uh, it is an expression of love, it's an expression of prayer. So when we write it down, um, it becomes more concrete and it becomes very, very, what to say, strong, that I really mean this prayer. It's like that.
Yes, Prabhuji, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we are also in a situation, we may also end up writing.
Yeah. But the thing
Anyway,
is, we couldn't able to pray to Krishna. Maybe we are chanting and we are reading, but whatever is there in the mind, we are directly unable to do as a prayer. Talk to Krishna as a prayer. That is something which we lack of. But any suggestion how to, because prayers are important. That's what we are hearing. But how to do the prayer? That is something. Whatever is there in the
Mataji,
mind, we couldn't able to do.
How many children you have?
Two sons.
Two
Prabhuji.
son, right? So they were
Yeah.
one point, they were babies, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Do you remember when they got first time sick? Did you pray to Krishna or to any devata that you were,
Yes, Prabhu. Definitely. Immediately we'll think of God,
right?
pray to God. Yes.
Yeah. So that urgency should be there.
Yes.
Okay, that urgency should be there
Yes,
because they
Prabhu.
were your babies. That urgency was there, right?
Yeah, correct. Yes, Prabhu. Correct.
So urgency is required. So when we hear about Krishna from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, ultimately it should bring us that urgency within us that I need to practice spiritual life. I have to do this like that.
Yes.
I have to do what my guru is saying. I have to serve Srila Prabhupada. I have to serve other Vaishnavas like that. So when that urgency comes, right, then automatically prayers also come with that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So somebody start reading 2 3 paragraphs and then we will stop and discuss. Start from here.
I'll start, Prabhu.
Okay.
Srila Prabhupada gives an address at the University of Nairobi. You are trying to develop yourselves. So please develop spiritually. For spiritual development is sound development. Don't imitate Americans and Europeans who are living like cats and dogs. The atomic bomb is already there, and as soon as the next war breaks out, all their skyscrapers and everything else will be finished. Try to understand this from the real viewpoint of human life, the spiritual viewpoint.
Continue.
Yes, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for kindly coming here to participate in this meeting for spreading Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness movement is trying to bring human society to the point where everyone's life can become successful. The subject today is the real meaning of human life. We are trying to instruct the entire world about this meaning. Human life is attained after many, many millions of years of evolution. We should remember that there are 84 lakh species of life according to the Padma Purana. Life began with the aquatics, for we can understand from Vedic literature that at the beginning of creation, the entire planet was merged in water. This material world is composed of five gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Besides these, there are three subtle elements: mind, intelligence, and ego. Behind these curtains is the spirit soul, which is covered by these eight elements. This information is given in the Bhagavad Gita. Human beings are not the only living entities to have a spirit soul. We are all spirit souls: beasts, birds, reptiles, insects, trees, plants, aquatics, and so on. The spirit soul is simply covered by different dresses. Just as some of you are dressed in white clothes, some in green, some in red, etc. But we are not concerned with the dress. We are concerned with you as spirit soul. Thus, it is said in the Bhagavad Gita 5.18, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Sunichaiva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. The sage does not make any distinction on the basis of color, intelligence, or species. He sees every living entity as a small particle of spirit soul. It is stated, Keshagra Shata Bhagasya Satamsa Sadrusatmakaha Jivaha Sukamsa Swarupoyam Sankhya hi Chitkanaha. There are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms, which are measured as 1/10,000 of the upper portion of the hair. Because we have no instrument to measure the dimensions of the spirit soul, the small particle of spirit soul is measured in this way. In other words, the soul is so small that it is smaller than an atom. The small particle is within you, within me, within the elephant, within gigantic animals, in all men, in the ant, in the tree, everywhere. However, scientific knowledge cannot estimate the dimensions of the soul, nor can a doctor locate the soul within the body. Consequently, material scientists conclude that there is no soul. But that is not a fact. There is a soul. The presence of the soul makes the difference between a living body and a dead body. As soon as the soul departs from the body dies. It has no value. However, a great scientist or a philosopher, one may be, he must admit that as soon as the soul departs from the body dies. It then has no value and has to be thrown away. We should try to understand this. The soul is valuable, not the body. The fact that the soul is transmigrating is explained in the Bhagavad Gita
Wait,
2.22.
just
Yes,
wait.
yes, bro.
So, Prabhupada in this lecture, is saying that what is the real meaning of human life? Real meaning of human life is we as a soul are moving through various things. Human, birds, beasts, all these bodies are there. And these are simply coverings. We're going from one thing to another, new bodies these are. And the coverings are made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. That's what our body is made of. Then there is subtle elements, mind, intelligence, ego. And we are keep getting this new bodies. So reality, we are not the external that we see, but we are the internal spirit soul. And the size of the spirit soul is 1/10,000 of the upper tip of the hair. Such a small size the soul is. But that makes the whole difference. A living body and a dead body. The soul leaves the body and the body is dead. In Bhagavad Gita 2.22, Vasam se jirnani yatha vyahaya navani grinati naro prani तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि samyati navani dehi. Just as we change clothes every day, similarly the soul is also accepting new bodies, giving up the old and the useless one. This is a very powerful example, right? How to understand, about soul. So, do you accept you are the soul? Do you accept?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Why?
Because that yeah, consciousness is there, right? If the soul is there, then only our body, the pain or whatever we are
So
observing.
did you see the soul?
No, we cannot see the soul.
And then how do you believe it? And why do you believe it? Anybody can ask you this question, right? Just because it is giving in Bhagavad Gita doesn't mean we have to believe it.
Correct, correct. Because even in the daily life, also we are observing, right? Dead body and the living body, which Prabhupada has explained here.
That's fine, but we never see the soul. How to know whether soul is really existing?
Yeah,
People may
only
ask
by
us, right?
looking.
What is the proof?
Yes.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts? We need the proof, right? Or we need some convincing explanation. Okay. So there are some explanations you can give to convince yourself and to convince others also in the existence of soul. If you tell, oh, it is just written in Bhagavad Gita, will people accept it? If the person has faith in Bhagavad Gita, definitely he will accept. But if the person doesn't have any faith in Bhagavad Gita, will he accept this understanding?
No, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one thing I'm thinking, let's say we are saying my body, my hand, that
Yeah,
what is that my? That my is something different than the body, right?
right.
That my is whatever that I indicates that the soul. And
Yes. Yeah, that is called as intuitive understanding. My body means me and my and body are different. So we are definitely different. Okay, we are not the external body. Okay. Second thing is, we say he passed away. Body is lying there. Then who passed away? something within the body that was living in it passed away. Otherwise, the body is still there. You can put some chemicals and bring it back to life. No, not possible. So something was driving this body. Therefore, that left. So this is intuitive understanding, Anuman Praman. Second is the most important one is actually the reincarnation. Have you heard about any reincarnation cases? So there are well documented cases that sometimes some children they remember their past life, and researchers have gone and really looked into these cases, and they have found that yes, there is some truth in it. So that means that something within our body enters into another body at the time of death, and if by chance they are able to remember past life, they will speak about it. So reincarnation is a very scientific proof for existence of soul, right? Something which goes from one body to another. You're getting?
Yes, bro.
Then there is out of body experience also. This is especially seen in cases of hospital, where person is anesthesia, body is lying there, but he says I was on top of it and I was looking what you're doing to me. So such cases have been analyzed, and they have a lot of things. I mean, the hospital it keeps happening. The patient is able to recall the whole operation, but the patient was anesthetic. Fourth one is near death experience. Sometimes some person dies and after a few minutes he comes back. Then he starts saying some story. I was here, there was light, it was very, very bright. I was very happy and peaceful there, like that. So your body is still there. Who went then there? Some persons may say consciousness and all that. But reincarnation cases give a very strong proof of existence. Getting? So these are proofs of existence of soul. Any questions on this? So
No, bro. But
yeah, tell me.
in the if they're able near death experience those things, then why again they come into that body out of body? There is the soul. If it is there in the body, then only it has some that conscious. It is able to understand, right? If it is come out of the body, how can the soul can feel, can see what the doctor is doing? All these things. How can the soul can remember and see those? And once it come back to the body, it is explaining about those, right? But how it?
So the soul has two bodies around it. One is gross body, earth, water, fire, air, ether. This is the flesh, bones, veins. Then there is subtle body. What it is? Mind, intelligence, ego. This is subtle body. So when the soul comes out of the body, the subtle body remains with the soul. So mind, intelligence, the soul remains, with the soul. Through that, it is perceiving things. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, okay. Okay. So yeah, these are the uh, proofs that you can see, and I have actually uh, put in some reincarnation proofs. Some videos are there. out of body experience, reincarnation proofs. So there are some videos you can see, how people are able to remember their past lives. So that is very powerful proof, right? And it is scientific also, because there were many researchers who have studied this, and they have said that there is some truth in it. But it is very difficult to understand this whole thing. But they made their investigation and they have come to this conclusion. Okay. Where are we? Chapter 7. Okay. Okay. Someone else read, please. Anyone would like to read?
Prabhuji, I'll read.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Start.
When a suit becomes old, we give it up and accept another suit. Similarly, the soul is changing dresses according to desire. Because the soul is part and parcel of God, it has godly qualities. God is the supreme will, the supreme power, the supreme independent one, and we, being part and parcel of Him, have all these qualities in minute quantity. We have willing, thinking, feeling, and desiring. In the Vedas, it is stated that God is the supreme living force among all living forces. Ch- Chaitanyas Chaitanam. He is also supplying the necessity of all the living entities. We living entities are innumerable. There is no limit to our number. God, however, is one. He is also living as we are, but we are minute particles of that living force. For example, a particle of gold is the same in quality as a gold mine. If we chemically analyze the ingredients in a small drop of water, we will find all the ingredients that are to be found in the vast ocean. In a similar way, we are one with God, being His part and parcel. This godly particle, the soul or the living force, is transmigrating from aquatics to trees and plants, and then from trees and plants to insect life, then to reptile life, then to the bodies of the birds and the beasts. Darwin's theory of revelation is but a partial explanation of the transmigration of the soul. Darwin has simply taken information from the Vedic literature, but he has no conception of the soul. The difference is that the soul is transmigrating from aquatic life to plants and trees, and then to insect life, then to bird life, then animal life, then human life. And within human life, he moves from uncivilized life to civilized life, etc. The civilized life of a human being represents the culmination of evolution.
Stop, stop,
Here,
stop.
yeah, so
So, I want to show you one picture. I mean, I'm reading. Hmm. So here we have a picture of how Darwin shows. Okay, and here we have Bhagavad Gita picture. Okay, this one. This is Darwin. Bhagavad Gita. Where is Darwin? Yeah. What is the difference between this expression and this explanation?
In Bhagavad Gita, the soul is common in both on all the bodies, whatever we are seeing. From childhood, it went to boyhood, youth, like that.
Hmm.
Different stages, it has undergone the same body.
And what is Darwin's explanation?
From monkey, the human being came. That's what he explained.
Yeah.
That yeah, different bodies. Those are different. Even the souls also are different. There.
There is no soul in Darwin's explanation.
Yeah, correct.
The only explanation he says is that the body is only decided to survive, and they only did the evolution. Okay, that is the explanation. Now, if that is the evolution, then it's like this, it's like ape becoming today's man. Okay, so he said from monkey you can become a man, and that whole took place millions of years ago, and the body only decided how to move. It's very difficult to understand Darwin philosophy. Here Krishna says there is soul, and there are so many bodies: animal body, human body, and the soul is moving into one body to another. And these bodies are nothing but machines, biochemical machines or biomechanical machines. And the soul is driving these machines, moving from one body to another, and he's experiencing all that the body has to uh, offer him. Hmm? It's moving from one body to another like this. So Darwin also tried to explain evolution, but because he had no understanding of the soul, he thought the body itself is doing the evolution. So do we see that, um, let's say a car producing a car changing to something else? No, on its own it cannot do things, right? Someone has to sit inside it and then drive it, then change it. So therefore the concept of soul explains the evolution perfectly. Okay, so there is no um, discrepancy in understanding that. But the Darwin theory is very difficult to understand, which means it should not be called theory, it should be called speculation. Okay, so there are a few more things here. Yeah, forbidden archaeology. No? Yeah, oh, there are some links I have presented here on archaeology, and by which we can understand, how Darwin theory is not working. Okay, but right now we don't have time to go on through that. Um, any question on that? Any question or comment? Okay, so no question, then we'll just continue. Can you start reading from this? This human form of life actually means developed consciousness.
Can I go ahead, Prabhu?
Yeah, go ahead.
This human form of life actually means developed consciousness. Therefore, we should not waste our lives like cats, dogs, and hogs. That is the injection. Although this body is perishable, like a dog's or cat's body, It is different in that one can attain the highest perfection in this life. We are part and parcel of God, but somehow or other we have fallen into this material existence. Now we have to evolve in such a way that we can go back home, back to Godhead. That is the highest perfection. There is actually another world, a spiritual world, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8.20. परस्तस्मात्तु भावोऽन्यो अव्यक्तो अव्यक्ताः सनातनः यः स सर्वेषु भूतेषु नास्यत्सु न विनश्यति. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and transcendental. Which can you move a little? Yeah. Which is Yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. In this material nature, everything is created. It stays for some time, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and finally vanishes. Our bodies are created at a certain moment by sexual intercourse. The semen of the father emulsifies and takes a pea form, and the living entity or soul takes shelter in that form. And because it takes shelter, it develops hands, legs, eyes, etc. This development is complete in the seventh month. And in the ninth month, the human being comes out of the womb. It is because the soul is present that the child develops. If the soul is not present, there is no development, and the child is born dead. We can take this dead body and preserve it in chemicals, but it will not develop. Development means change of body. All of us have had baby bodies, but those bodies are no longer existing. The body of a baby develops into the body of a child, and that body develops into the body of a boy, and that body develops into a youth's body, which eventually turns into an old man's body. Finally, the body completely vanishes. The whole cosmic manifestation, the gigantic form of this material world, is also working according to this same process. It is created at a certain point, it develops, it is maintained, and at a certain stage, it is dissolved. That is the nature of the material world. It is manifest at a certain interval, and again it vanishes. Bhutva bhutva praliyate.
Yeah. So, so Prabhupada gives here that there is a spiritual world where all the souls should live. Okay. And that's where we need to go. So liberation means to go to that spiritual world, Vaikuntha Loka. Okay. In the material world, how does one get body? When man and woman or male, female, when they have intercourse, then then the soul takes, uh, the soul enters the body of the mother, and the body around it is formed. Eyes, hands, leg, that is how it is formed. And they're complete in 7 months. The 9th month it comes out.
But how the soul knows, Prabhuji, okay, I need to take the shelter of this particular
Yeah,
form.
yeah. Uh, so the answer to that is, it is Daiva Netrena. Daiva Netrena means this whole world, universal world, is working in under the direction of the Supreme Lord through his agencies. So Indra is working on the irrigation department, Agri is the fire department. Similarly, there is a placement department. Like in companies, they have placement departments, right? HR and all that.
Yes.
So here it is the Yamraj department. The Yamraj keeps track of all the karmas of the soul, and then if it is now time for the soul to take new body, he will direct it to a parent, mother and father, where his karma matches. Where his karma matches, he tells them you go there. And then under the Devata Daiva Naitrena, the soul takes new body. Got it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So the Devatas and all that, they are doing it under the direction of Krishna. That is the answer. The soul is Tatastha Shakti, meaning it is not independent. It has to take shelter. Some spiritual shelter or shelter of the material Maya, Durga.
Yes, Prabhu. It's not a soul wish. Soul is not searching, but based on his karma, based on soul's past deeds, few of the demigods or whoever is the placement position, they are giving the okay, this body you need to take like that. Right,
Okay.
Prabhu?
So now you go to some shop, hmm, where there are various kinds of clothes. Which one will you buy?
Which suits to me,
Suits to me is fine. Any other answer?
which I likes,
Okay, you like something, you suit something. There is one very important.
which I can afford, like which I can
Which you
able
can
to.
buy. How much
Yes,
money
Prabhu.
you have?
Yes, Prabhu, correct. Yeah, that is the
Depending
main
on that
criteria.
only. If you like
Correct,
something but
Prabhu.
you don't have that much money, then you won't
Yes,
buy.
Prabhu.
Right?
Yes, Prabhu, correct. Yes, Prabhu.
So the soul in his karma, he collects this pious credits, and depending on that pious credits, he gets new body. Just like here, now the car has become old. Now he wants another car, and he goes to buy that car, but he can only buy that much, which how much savings he has. Okay, so yeah, this is how it is working. Okay, then there is Daiva Netrin. This all decision is taken by the Devatas under the direction of Krishna. Placement agency Yamraj. He takes care, right? Like at the time of death, he comes. At time of birth, also he directs. किधर जाना है इसको? Getting?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So now the question is, what happens to our devotional credits? Material credits, we know they are with the body, and then next life, you know, we cannot take those material credits. Person may be a person may be very very educated and all that, very very rich, but after he dies everything remains in this world only, right? No rich man after his death has ever accessed the money that he had here, right? Not possible only. But when a devotee does devotional credits of chanting, preaching, service to Krishna, even after death he takes it with him, and then next life he gets a devotee family. You can see this in the picture right bottom. He gets a devotee family. Getting? So therefore, devotional credits are more important than material credits. Just like person may be PhD in English, but once he dies, he takes new body. Then he has to again start with A, B, C, D. He cannot say, "Oh, in my previous life I was PhD." Does he say like that?
No, Prabhu.
He doesn't even remember.
Yes. Yes, we
Yeah,
have to start from the beginning.
yeah. But there are some karmas which are there. Okay, there are some karmas that work. But in case of spirituality, one starts from where he had left.
Yes, Prabhu. Got it.
Got it? Okay.
Yes.
So we are here only. Okay. Okay. We have 5 more minutes. We will Bhutva Bhuta Paliyate, right? Let's see how long it is. So this lecture is also very big lecture. Okay, we'll just continue for 5 more minutes and then we'll stop. Any question or comments, you can interrupt me. Uh, someone else continue reading this. The word bhava means nature. Someone else would like to read? Or Mataji, you want to read? You can continue.
Yes, I'll continue.
Okay.
The word bhava means nature. There is another nature which never dissolves, which is eternal. As jivas, spirit souls, we are also eternal. This is verified in the Bhagavad Gita 2.20. Najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha अजो नित्यः शाश्वतो अयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. For the soul there is neither birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
So the soul is eternal, okay? It cannot be destroyed.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Just as God has no birth or death, we spirit souls can have neither birth nor death. But because we think I am this body, we consider that we are born and that we die. Such thinking is called Maya or illusion. And as soon as we get out of this illusion of identifying the soul with the body, we attain the stage called Brahma Bhuta. When one realizes Aham Brahmasmi, I am not this body, I am spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Brahman, he attains what is called Brahman realization. As soon as Brahman realization is attained, one becomes happy. Is this not a fact? If you understand clearly that you have no birth and death, that you are eternal, will you not become happy? Yes, certainly. Thus, when one is Brahman realized,
Just wait.
spiritual is Brahman.
What is your realization of this statement? When you understand that actually you are not the body but the soul, and the soul can never be destroyed, and we are eternal.
And will become, if we know that, understand, if we are in that understanding, we'll be happy. Generally we'll think death, we'll all will afraid for the fear for the death, right? So okay, only this body is going under, soul is, I'm the soul, I'm not this body, I'm eternal. If we know that fact, then we won't afraid for the death. That's what understand.
Yeah. So there was once a lady, and she was very fat, and then she tried so hard, to become slim, but it was not possible for her. If she tried, then again she would become fat and all that. So once she was walking on the road and she saw that there is some festival going on, and it was the Rath Yatra festival. So out of curiousness, we went, and there was one booth called question answer session. So she stood there and she was hearing, and that devotee was saying the same philosophy. You know, the body is just a machine. The soul takes the soul drives the machine. In reality, our reality, our identity is not the external body, because at the time of death it won't remain. Our reality is the eternal soul that is within. The moment she heard this, she started feeling so happy. She said, whole life I tried to become slim, and today I came to know I'm not this body only, right? So this trouble that she had, I have to make my body slim, 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 was, so much putting pressure on her. And everything was released when she came to know, Are, this is not me. So then why to worry? Right? That's the conclusion she got, and then she became happy. Okay. It's already 8:30. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comment? So no questions. So we'll stop here and we'll meet next week.